Alex Cooper of the Call Her Daddy podcast threw Kamala Harris under the bus over spending 100,000 US American dollars to appear on her show. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Call Her Daddy podcast host Alex Cooper throwing Kamala Harris and her team all the way under the bus for spending $100,000 to do her show. Now, when I say she spent that much money, I don't mean she gave it to Alex Cooper or Call Her Daddy podcast or a company linked to them. It wasn't even really about that. What this was they spent that money to create a fake studio in DC rather than going to Los Angeles where the Call Her Daddy podcast studios are, which is totally ridiculous, totally lazy, and a big waste of money. If you waste money like that during a campaign to the point where you spend 1.4, 2.5, whatever it was, billion, and you're in debt, you spend that much money, go in debt, and lose. What would you have done with the nation's money if you became the president? Now, before I get into Ms. Cooper throwing her under the bus, here is the podcast studio we're talking about that cost $100,000 to create. Now, I don't see much special. I'm looking at vinyl on the ground, basic drywall, basic shelving units, fake floral stuff, couple books. What's that? Some gummy candy in the background. It's not a lot there. Let's go back. You see, okay, we got basic Call Her Daddy logo, a little accoutrements, decorations. There's not much there. Why was $100,000 spent on that? And as you're about to hear, Alex Cooper said, you know what? My studio in LA didn't cost 100 grand. So why did this random house, not hotel room, why did this random house need to get renovated like this with 100 grand? And why was so much spent? It doesn't make any sense. And before I go any further, let's get to the clip in question. Of course, I will link to this in the box. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
There's a little bit of controversy about that podcast because you didn't.
Oh.
Do you know about this?
No, what?
Because in D.C., this interview happened in D.C.
Yeah.
In a hotel.
Yeah. Not in a hotel. It was like a random house.
It was like a random house. But apparently, you can tell me, they spent, meaning the Harris campaign spent like $100,000.
I did see
you
that.
Know about this?
It's hilarious.
To build the studio.
Yeah, that's not true.
Not true. To make it look like it was the studio that you used in L.A.
My studio that is gorgeous in Los Angeles doesn't even cost six figures.
Pause. So her studio is in Los Angeles and didn't cost six figures. And again, I'm not the biggest fan of this show. I've never watched an episode of Call Her Daddy podcast, but apparently it's very, very popular. One of the biggest podcasts of its type in the world. And their spot that they record in, their studio did not cost six figures. So why was so much money spent on the Kamala replication, on the Kamala duplicate Call Her Daddy studio in DC at a house, not even in a hotel room? I think there is some money laundering going on. Now, I can't prove that. I can't say, here's documents, here's evidence. That's just my opinion from what she's saying, because we've seen this kind of thing a lot throughout the entire campaign, but I'll talk about that in a moment. Let's continue here.
I don't know how cardboard walls could cost six figures, but
do you think they did that? I mean, you saw it.
Absolutely not. With love to them. Oh my God, it was gorgeous, but like, it wasn't that nice. It wasn't like gorgeous marble. Like, no, that was not six figures.
So there you have it. Straight from Alex Cooper of the Call Her Daddy podcast. I don't think that the studio that they had us in cost six figures. And of course it didn't. And shout out to Andrew Ross Sorkin. This is the Deal Book Summit. You can see him, I believe, on, CNBC? And this is New York Times Deal Book Summit. And if I can find the full interview with them, I'll link to it in the box. But look, you know what? This is an example of just how much people don't like Kamala Harris and they don't respect her. They didn't respect her in their own campaign because what the campaign did here, in my opinion, was just get money. All right, you got a contracting company that wants to get a taste of the action. All right, cool, contractors. Let's have you go to this random place in DC, this random house, and recreate the studio that you see right here. How much is it going to cost? Hey, don't worry about the cost. Whatever it is, we'll just cover it. All right, cool. Although we can get like 3 Amish guys and have this whole thing done for under $10,000 in one day, we're going to charge you 100 grand and take longer, because why not? That appears to be what's going on. There was so much money spent. Oprah. Okay, how much does a town hall cost to put on? You sitting there for an hour asking questions in the audience. Look, and if you're Oprah, you already got Harpo Studios, right? You already got your studio set up. So you didn't need to rent a place or buy a place or build a place. You already got the studio. You already got everything set up. All you got to do is just run it. Now, why does that cost $1 million? And I think they also said it could have cost more than $1 million, like 2.5. Why does it cost that much? Why does this little fake podcast studio cost 100 grand? It's not that expensive, I promise. I don't care if you're buying all the equipment brand new. It doesn't matter. It's not costing that much. And I'm sure you guys got equipment to record her as you do all throughout this country, where you go on rallies and whatnot. So if you ask me, the bare minimum 1.4 billion with the beat. Listen, bare minimum they spent 1.4 billion and they went 20 million in debt, or they spent 2.5 billion with the B and still $20 million in debt. I think a lot of that money was just pure graft, pure grift. If Trump spends 375 million and wins in convincing fashion, then how do you spend at least 1.4 and get stomped out and wind up in debt? It's because you just overextending yourself. You are paying off too many favors. Hey man, you said last time you're gonna look out for me now, so what's up? And if you don't look out for me, I got some dirt on you. All right, here goes 10 million to this person, 1 million to that person, and so on and so on and so on and so forth. And by the end of it, you're 1.4 million spent and you still are millions in the hole. That's what this was. Listen, the Call Her Daddy podcast host, who I presume is not a Trump supporter, in this podcast, she was talking about deleting babies, abortion being a great thing, being a fantastic thing, a thing that she champions. So why would someone like that with those kind of far left liberal values throw Kamala under the bus if A, it wasn't true, and if B, she actually, didn't like her? I don't think that anybody likes her. I don't think anybody respects her. All they wanted was to get money, to grift, and be on to the next. They knew she was going to lose because she lost in tremendous fashion during but before the primaries in 2020, running for president, before it even got to the primary, she dropped out. She dropped out so early, it was 2019, not even 2020 when the primaries actually happened. It was a big mess. Everyone knew she couldn't win. Everyone knew she couldn't do it. The media knew it. They all knew it. They told American people who didn't know any better that she can do it. And then afterward, they're upset. All the while, they're just taking money, putting it in their pocket. You could be upset. You could be mad. So what? I got $10 million. If I'm mad, I'm a judge. I'm not choosing my money. That's how they play this whole situation. And again, this video was just another example of it. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about Alex Cooper, Call Her Daddy podcast, going on TV and saying, hey, that hotel room we were in, that little decoration that they did not cost 100 grand. It's just her own studios that she uses for her wildly successful podcast did not cost 6 figures. So why did what Kamala did in the house, hotel room, whatever, why did it cost so much? I think we know the answer to that, but whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This is just what they do. It's all about money. It was never about winning. It was never about actually becoming the president and making change. It's all about getting money. And if she was to become the president, which I'm thankful that she did not, but if she was to become the president, it would have been more of the same. Her buddies from this agency and this group and this network will come to her with their handout. Just like Voldemort Zelensky comes to the White House in his pajamas with his little size 7 kids play boots, okay, these Payless play boots with his hand out. Can I have some more money? That's what he does all the time. It's ridiculous. And I think the American people can see right through it. Even the far left liberal like Alex Cooper can see right through it, at least in this instance. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that is all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.